Hello, James George, and this is Create a Beacon. This week we're going to talk about gradient maps inside of Photoshop and how to apply them to your images. So we're starting out with this image here of a lighthouse, and it's a really interesting picture with birds in the background and everything. And so what we're going to do is we're going to apply an adjustment layer to our image. To do that, you go down here to this icon. It's like a half-filled circle, and choose Gradient Map. And so from here, the default is black and white gradient, which you can see here in the Properties panel. So whenever you have an adjustment layer, just go to the Properties panel, and you can see the different properties that make up that adjustment layer. And so you have your gradient, and you also have your layer mask here. We're going to choose gradient, and we're going to select a gradient, and we're going to go to Photographic Toning. And that will bring up all of these options here. You can see that most of them fade from black to a color, gray, and then white, or something of that variation. And you can create some amazing results just using these filters. So, for example, if instead I wanted to create a cool toned photo, I could use this one, and you can see from the image, it automatically updates to preview. That turned the really warm image to a very cold image and just completely changed the mood of the entire photo. And you can see that you have a great tonal range still, from the lights to the very blackest blacks. And it didn't affect the tonal range at all, but it changed the color variations in all of those, so that you can keep your tonal range and create some beautiful imagery. And so that's a gradient. We'll go ahead and click OK. That's a gradient map, and if you want to lessen the results, you can click the mask icon and you can lower the density. So if you wanted to create a layer mask, it would just, that's how you would change the density. So let's choose a brush here, and I'll show you an example. Let's say that choose a soft edge brush, and then we're going to increase the size and paint over the sky area. And you can see that you're painting back in that warm color, and this is how you could get a two-toned effect in your image. But let's just say that I wanted to tone this down so that you still had some of the blue affecting these areas. And I'm just doing a basic brush over just for an example. So when you lower the density, you should see dramatic results. That's at full density. Lowering it to about 50% density, maybe let's increase that to 60. You still get some of the warm tones, but they are mainly cooled off by our gradient map. So I suggest that you try out gradient maps and see what you can come up with, because you can create some amazing results in your images using stacks of gradient maps and layer masks to blend certain areas. If you have a varied tonal range and you want to keep those and just make some adjustments, gradient map is a great choice. Well, that's it for this week. I'm James George, and this is Creative Beacon.